We already know Sierra Adventures thrived on equal parts whimsy, logic, and the company's gleeful willingness to pancake you for clicking one wrong pixel. Don't play coy. You've watched Graham crumple after sampling porridge that was a tad too hot. King's Quest VI takes that old-school cruelty and wraps it in storybook grandeur. A Disney-adjacent prince marooned in a Mediterranean myth soup, romancing a politically savvy princess, and wrestling with puzzles so circuitous they make Riven look like Duplo. Classic or fossil, underrated or overrated, essential or expendable. Yes, simultaneously. It's the jewel in Roberta Williams' crown, and the DOS era's most lethal charm offensive, the one that taught a generation to type restore faster than a 3.5-inch disc could spin. Hyperbole? Always. Irony? Inevitably. Rhetorical questions followed by self-deprecating answers. Could I wax nostalgic about 1992 without them? Spoiler, absolutely not. So warm the Sound Blaster, calibrate that 256 color VGA palette, and settle in for a journey that loops longer than a labyrinth death screen, featuring a recurring absurd motif, the smug narrator voice reminding you, that probably wasn't a very good idea. Historical context, Sierra's multi-format juggling act, autumn 1992. CD-ROM drives cost about as much as a used Geo Metro. Wolfenstein 3D had just ransacked the PC landscape, and LucasArts' Monkey Island 2 was teaching pirates to sword fight with insults instead of verbs. Sierra was determined to show it could outspectacle everyone while still shipping on humble discs for the millions who hadn't installed a CD yet. The answer was King's Quest VI. Heir Today, gone tomorrow, powered by an updated SCI 1 engine cataloged by fans as SCI 1.1, sporting 320 by 200 pixel art awash in 256 colors, and boasting a fully voiced CD edition that shipped in the same box as the floppy version. Roberta Williams drafted newcomer Jane Jensen, later of Gabriel Knight fame, to co-write a script equal parts Arabian Nights, Greek myth, and Shakespearean mistaken identity romp. Hollywood spice arrived via Robby Benson, Disney's Beast voicing Prince Alexander, and the velvet-throated Tony Jay opposing him as Vizier Al-Hazred. Sierra's in-house composer roster, Chris Braymen, Mark Seibert, and Dan Kaler, combined to craft a score toggling from woodwind whimsy to synth symphonic danger stabs. Sierra also stuffed the box with the faux tourist pamphlet Guidebook to the Land of the Green Isles, doubling as copy protection. Miss its riddle answers, and certain puzzles brickwall you harder than any DRM rootkit. Commercially, the dual format gamble paid off. Internal tallies boast approximately 400,000 units sold within months. Colossal for a premium PC title, and November 1993 retail charts still place the CD re-release in the top 5. Critics showered it with perfect scores. Dragon Magazine's 5-star review practically devoted a column inch to swooning over the intro's polygon seagull, which flaps like origami on espresso, but hey, 1992. My own first contact involved a 386SX at 16 MHz, its Sound Blaster Pro wheezing out the opening theme, while the family dot matrix printer whispered background static. The introduction's 3D galleon cutscene dropped frames like loose doubloons, yet teen me still gasped loud enough for mom to ask whether the computer had caught fire. 2 months later, I begged for the CD-ROM upgrade because hearing Robby Benson emote was, in 1993 priorities, right below complete algebra homework. Mechanics, icon-driven freedom, and fatalism. Parser text was dead. Long live the 6-icon verb bar. Right-clicking cycles walk, look, touch, talk, item, action, each animated with cape swishes and hand flourishes, smoother than many 2025 indie throwbacks. While LucasArts boasted a zero-death manifesto, Sierra doubled down on consequences. Poke a hole in the wrong desert urn and watch Alexander evaporate into a skeleton dust pile. I kept a running tally, 42 deaths in my first playthrough, 19 of them from curiosity, 23 from pixel misclick hubris. Short path versus long path. Choose your own headache. King's Quest VI is essentially a choose your own fairy tale. Ignore the optional islands and you'll reach a brisk, good enough ending. Pursue every side quest and you unlock the golden finale, complete with royal wedding fanfare and father-in-law King Graham's NPC tears of joy. Strategy guides catalog 5 distinct endings, each contingent on variables like rescuing the Nightingale, acquiring the magic mirror, and mending Beast's curse before he hulks out on you. The crown jewel of the long route is the nightmare subplot. Feed the skeletal steed a sugar cube, mount her across a dream void, slip through the vizier's living painting gateway, and pilfer his blueprint for regicide. Miss the sugar cube earlier and the nightmare bolts. Cue Restore Ritual. Sierra still adored Walking Dead states, but here they feel less malicious, more like laissez-faire warnings to read your guidebook. Puzzles from fair hard to are you serious? Puzzles oscillate between neat lateral challenges and pun-drunk fever dreams. Trading poems with a literal bookworm on the Isle of Wonder. Charming, once you realize you must bribe a nightingale with said poem. Navigating the catacombs means mapping a one-solution lever maze that never changes, contrary to every schoolyard myth. Slip once into a trap tile, and the game quick loads you into a sarcophagus of guilt. Standouts include the Cliffs of Logic, 15 logic riddles culminating in a room-scale sliding platform finale. They're clever, fair, and gracefully tutorialized later mechanics. LucasArts fans admitted begrudging respect here. Less beloved, the Isle of the Sacred Mountain trial, where petty theft hours earlier results in exile. Sierra keeps receipts. Moral accountability hits harder when your save file timestamp predates your crime. Critically, KQ6 rarely muddles its own rules. Items have single purposes or telegraph multi-use by obvious "you might need this later" descriptions. Except the black feather. If you know, you know. My save file self-destructed once over that feather. Snap bracelet tightened, audio, and the pop ballad marketing blitz. The floppy build's MIDI soundtrack blossoms in the CD version courtesy of True Digital Playback. Alexander's theme is a jaunty flute, while the vizier's motif rumbles with low strings and snake charmer woodwinds. Then there's Girl in the Tower, a syrupy soft rock duet Sierra mailed to radio DJs and encouraged players to request. A marketing stunt so intense some stations complained about prank call traffic. I phoned my local easy listening station twice. They hung up both times. Worth it. Voice acting elevates everything. Robby Benson imbues Alexander with earnest sincerity. Tony J's bassy menace practically drips green venom onto your Sound Blaster's speaker cone. Narration by Bill Ratner delivers snarky sidebar asides. That probably wasn't a very good idea, with just enough condescension to feel like a kindly DM tutoring a reckless bard. Nerd metaphor interlude, the underworld guardian wraith which insta-kills you if you linger. That creature has more invincibility frames than a 3.5 ED and D monk high on boots of speed. Meanwhile, the dual roach structure is the CRPG equivalent of splitting your stat points between charisma romance path and dexterity speedrun path. Min-max wrong and you'll crit fail the endgame like a bard who forgot his loot. Legacy and influence. KQ6 represents Sierra's mechanical and narrative peak. It outsold prior entries, scored perfect reviews, and seeded ideas that designers still harvest. BioWare's romanceable NPC arcs, Jensen's Alexander Kasima rapport echoes there. Multi-ending structures. The Witcher 3 owes some debt to KQ6's optional beast quests that flips finales. Even indies like Unavowed claim lineage in branching gold ending design. Yet the same ambition foretold Sierra's looming pivot. Post-KQ6 budgets ballooned. Corporate shifts nudged Roberta toward FMV juggernauts like Phantasmagoria, and the market's patience for sudden death puzzles waned. LucasArts' no-death credo aged more gracefully with casual players, leaving KQ6 hailed by enthusiasts but sidelined in mainstream retrospectives. Speedrunning gives it modern oxygen. The short path any % record sits under 18 minutes via dialogue skip macros and pixel-perfect click queuing. Long path 100% marathons showcase jokes most fans never saw, like Alexander singing sea shanties on repeat if you idle on the beach, fully voiced, gloriously cringe. Closing paragraph plus score. So what is King's Quest VI in 2025? It's a lavish pop-up book whose pages occasionally guillotine your fingers. It's the floppy that whispered CD-ROM future while still coddling your 386. It's proof that fairy tale whimsy and genuine stakes can coexist, that pun-based doors can guard kingdom-saving keys, and that one soft rock ballad can clog radio lines nationwide. Imperfect, yes, but gloriously so. 9.0 divided by 10, because sometimes the path that breaks your save files also breaks new ground, and decades later, I still hum Girl in the Tower, hoping some local DJ will finally spin it. Until then, I'll keep the snap bracelet coiled and the guidebook dog-eared. Heir today, legend tomorrow.